Alright.
War is coming.
If you guys can hear that, we've queued up the epic music for this last one.
It's about time.
It's the ultimate showdown between these two players. It's officially an unofficial best of 3, as both JJakji and Impact have been resurrected for their teams. Score now tied up 4-4, as you can see it displayed up here. It's the last game. Someone walks away today victorious, but so does their team. The big question is, who's it going to be? Spawning in the top right corner of the map, playing for Axiom Esports for the 3rd time today, ladies and gentlemen, Axiom's Impact. Well, 4th time, but yeah.
On the upper left, as the blue Terran, it is mYinsanity's JJakji.
I couldn't have hoped for a better map. This map is disgusting, it's big, it leads to long games pretty much no matter who you are or what strategy you go for, unless you go for something that's a little bit to catch your opponent off guard. Yesterday we saw some pretty gross all-ins on this, but the reality is, guys, these two players that are so well matched, I don't think this is going to be your 5-minute, 7-minute game. We saw an all-in out of Impact fail just now, and still the game dragged on another 5 minutes because neither player could quite wipe the other. I'm sitting here like really overhyping this match, and I'm sure some of you are sick of it, but I'm so excited for this. I'm literally got like the nerd shakes going on right now.
I don't know, man. I hate this map. You know, it's okay and like whatever, you know, as being a map, but in terms of like an ace match with such great players, I'm like, I'll just see him. Okay, whatever.
Well, what would your ultimate, like, I guess, fantasy map be for this one? Because, like, for me, I know it's not in the pool anymore, but I think Belshire would be another, like, really sick one to have, like, the final showdown on.
This is a good question. I guess Frost. Frost is, like, the go-to map. It's, like, my...
Yeah,
Frost. It's my Daybreak. There you go.
Yeah, Frost and Habitation Station are kind of like the two common. No one vetoes those maps, but JJakji gonna get a quick scout. Well, not a quick scout, but the right scout.
Yes, which is quicker than the wrong scout.
Thank you for covering my ass on that incorrect statement. This is why I got co-casters. This is why I sound good. I like what Impact's done, by the way, to talk about this a little bit. Taking the natural base out here. I mean, you're going to take a 3rd base eventually as a Zerg player anyways. There's not a lot of Zerg builds that, I mean, even all-ins revolve around 3 bases sometimes, as we just witnessed. So, by taking it out here, the quicker he mines these minerals out, the sooner, of course, you'll have to worry about your 3rd base being safe. But rather than this base being the critical base exposed later on, he'll have it nicely tucked into the natural. So, it's really forward-thinking, but if it goes on that long, this is going to pay off quite large.
I also like it because they rarely can get another scout into that potential 3rd, so they don't know if you're 2-basing or not.
That's a good point.
I like it, but and we have seen more and more Zergs do it. Unfortunately, the idea of having that safe 3rd tucked in that back isn't quite as true. It would be absolutely 100% true, the safest thing in the world, had JJakji spawn in the bottom right, or even the bottom left, honestly, but in these positions, it's, you know, he's actually, that's the closest he can get to Impact's base, is attacking his 3rd via medevac drops.
Marines are not quite going to be able to pick off the Ling right away. There he does die. Scouts has only 1 gas, though. Didn't quite get to confirm the natural, but I think he's got a pretty good idea that that's going to be down.
No Reaper. 14 CC almost always.
Yeah, the lack of the Reaper, though, as well, is going to pay off to a little bit faster Hellions. And on a map like this, preventing creep spread is critical. I mean, everyone's talked about the size of the map, and I really don't want to pay too much into that. But like the reality is, with this map being so big, creep spread becomes incredibly more important. Not just for the sake of mobility, but also scouting. But more, like, the thing is for mobility as well, you guys gotta keep in mind, look at the distance, like, to go from, say, the potential 4th all the way to the potential 5th to respond to 1 drop and then have to respond to the other later on. Impact is gonna be run ragged even with creep spread.
Oof. These positions are looking worse and worse for Impact, actually. As you point out to what would be the potential 5th, I'm like, yeah, that's not where you want to take that base, yeah.
Although, you know what, we say that kind of in like a defensive standpoint, but let's say Impact's like putting in constant aggression and JJakji can't find any room to breathe. The closer bases lead to closer reinforcements, and on a big map like this, that could actually end up being beneficial rather than detrimental.
Maybe. This SCV actually got in, by the way. Was like talking about how that shouldn't happen. It happened. Oh well.
Oh, is the queen not gonna finish it? What?
That queen gave up. It was like,
it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm halfway there. Let's just go home instead, because why not? Behind this, whoa, we almost missed this blue flame coming out of JJakji. This is something that Impact can't do the, your typical evolution chamber block against because of I think JJakji doing this is specifically because this was the natural taking the third base location. Normally you don't do this because all right, this is blocked off in the main. There's no way I get up there. It's gonna be rough.
I like the Evo Chamber. We've also seen people defend Blue Flame on this map by putting 2 Evo Chambers and a Spine Crawler right here where the Queens are, and using Roaches for anything else. But he doesn't actually have Roaches, which is problem number 1.
Has he seen? No, he's got no confirmation of the Blue Flame.
No, and there's no tell other than actually getting Overlord in there, because they're gonna hide the other Hellions.
He's actually doing Blue Flame into Bio afterwards, which is kind of cool. So Impact may get completely caught off guard by this. Like, he sees Blue Flame and thinks Mech is the follow-up, perhaps, because JJakji has played Mech quite a lot recently in ZVT as well, specifically. But I just hope Impact doesn't misread the situation. He's got several Overlords and a Zergling over here. He can't quite go for the Overseer Scout yet, but this is one of those times I really wish he would have, like, a Zerg player would have invested into Pneumatized Carapace. Get in, get out, keep the Overlord alive, confirm the Blue Flame. But now the Hellions moving out. They will be revealed, but not until it's too late. The Overlord spread actually doesn't cover the middle of the map.
He has a lair. He could have made an Overseer immediately and gone in for a Scout, but you're just so used to Terran players only doing what they usually do, which is into third base normal. Yeah. This could be absolutely terrible. I can't actually see it going any other way besides absolutely terrible.
He's got Lings.
Maybe if he tries to go to the natural first.
Oh my god, the Blue Flame though, so it hits so hard. Lings running to the main because they know up top is the only way they can possibly engage. Drones disengage from this. Hellions trying to, well, they're actually trying to get, the splits are really nice, but retreating to the main is going to hurt a little bit. Impact trying to minimize losses, and the Queens will push these back, but this isn't the end of the threat, not by any means.
No, it's not the end of the attack at all. I mean, he still has Blue Flame Hellions, and they're still very, very powerful. He goes for a Spire immediately. I actually would have expected maybe more Spine Crawlers from down.
There's no Roaches, but we get the Spire on the way started.
Yeah, so what this can do, as long as he survives, and I think he's doing a really great job surviving, having all his stuff here, is that the Marine count actually isn't going to be that high. Again, you invested a lot into things that don't attack the air, so you will be able to find those positions that there just won't be covered by enough Marines or by enough missile turrets or what have you. Or if JJakji even remembers to build missile turrets, if he's expecting, the meter to become so much later because he attacked in such a surprising way, then he'd be wrong, right?
What makes this so impressive, too, is the fact that he did this blindly. A lot of the times, guys, you'll see Blue Flame catch Zerg players completely off guard. It's kind of a really risky build, though, because if a Zerg player scouts it, they shut it down, all of a sudden you've wasted a lot of resources. But the fact that Impact did this blindly really impresses me.
Well, I really think it all went back to the fact that JJakji tried to go into the main, which is like, it's like the holy grail, but if you get into the main, you also get into the natural, and then any reinforcements go into the third. It's the best possible thing. But if he had it blocked like he did, then you actually waste a lot of time. And even if you get the rest of the third, he didn't even do that, and he didn't even kill all the Lings. The Lings are actually protected, which doesn't usually happen either. So just basically a great defense from Impact so far.
A small attempt at a counterattack. JJakji's starting to set up this wall. This seems really exposed and out of the way, and this will take a lot of deep boosts to cover, but I like this because there's so many times in this series where Impact is just kind of rolled into an extra base with some Banelings. This might seem like a big investment, but whether JJakji was planning to do this against any Zerg player or specifically against Impact, this extra, the necessity of having this here is huge.
Mutas are going to pop out as JJakji loads up for a medevac drop. No, he changes his mind. Not sure why, but he did. And we're actually going to have Hellbats. Oh, he scanned. Okay, so we're going to have Hellbats on the way, which I really like. Not just wasting quote-unquote Blue Flame on only Hellions. Hellbats are a nice addition, and people are experimenting more and more with them, so go ahead with it.
Well, we've discussed in the past, too, a lot of the times when you see Banelings and Zerglings, you can go for the Widowmines, which are great, but the Hellbats guarantee more damage than the Widowmine possibly can. Widowmine's got a high risk, high reward, whereas Hellbats are kind of that more safe unit. But as he moves out of the base with everything, the Mutal is starting to head in. But Impact's saying, okay, wait, that's way too much. I need to come back home.
Okay, good thing that he has so much right now because he is severely supply blocked, just now making 7 Overlords. That is a good minute, probably 2 minute supply block. And luckily that creep spread, which he's been really forcing out very, very well, is probably
bought him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, bought him like 30 seconds of time from when JJakji got here to when he cleaned all this up. So Impact going to lose a little bit of that map control, a little unfortunate, but he's going to be able to replace this too. Now, the Mutalisk coming home were kind of out of desperation. I kind of think if he had just started poking away at the reactors, maybe he would have drawn the attention of JJakji back home, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. And Banelings, he's throwing them away 1 or 2 at a time. He can't afford to do this. He's got a lot of them, sure, but he needs every single one of them. There's no follow-through. There's no follow-up. It's these Banelings, and it's all or nothing. The supply count is insanely different right now. 200 maxed out to 164.
Yeah. Oh, and the Blue Thumb Hellions can chase the Banelings. Actually, don't do such a good job. Lucky for Impact. Impact, he has to hold. Connect. He has a 4th base up. If he has another minute, probably 2 minutes, he will hold and be fine in this game. But right now is such a critical point where JJakji has an opportunity to push in. I don't think he's not 100% sure that he could, though. You know, he doesn't know where the entire army of Impact is, or if that is the entire army.
Banelings get a good connection on the south side. What am I still standing, though? None have detonated yet. This really limits where Impact can go from, but still bleeding out Banelings, and he doesn't, again, have anything really behind this. As you said, if he can hold on to this, he'll be in a great spot, but he's popping out with 38 Lings, and 38 Lings alone won't cut it, especially with Blue Flame Hellbats on the front lines.
The army
just past this.
Oh, good Baneling hits with the Queens as well.
Oh, those Marauder concussive shells almost saved those Marines. More Banelings morphing in. I think he might just be able to hold this, though, albeit barely.
He will.
Wow. Mutalisks, of course, are not exactly in a big number. Trying to get to top of these Marines, I think, is a bit of a mistake, but it does force the retreat out of JJakji, and Impact stays in this game.
Oh, for now, but I don't know. I don't really know about this choice to try and immediately go up to Hive. He got the invitation pit as
so
it's happening, and you know, that isn't a lot of minerals and gas, but it is still like a lot when you're in such a desperate situation. He still needs to entirely clear up his army, force JJakji to stop pushing, to feel a little uncomfortable, and he just can't.
Gonna kiss the Mutalisks. It was a kind of a nice move to try and go around the army, go maybe cut off reinforcements at the bare minimum, but what's happening is there's 8 Marines rallied out at a time. Thors combined with this, even Mutalisks are gonna struggle to cut out the reinforcements. Lots of Banelings just got remade, but look at the resources lost from Impact, guys, and that was with a good engagement.
Yeah. He had 2-2, slightly ahead of his opponent, but that actually is not going to play a part. JJakji's +2 weapons or defense has officially finished. Unfortunately, the meta is just every time they say maybe I can go over to the other side of the map, they have to pull back and defend.
God, that's a lot of Banelings though swamping on the top of this. Without the Mutalisk support, gonna make him use all the Banelings instead of half of them. Still connects to the Thor, needs to keep as many of these alive as he can. There's not a lot left behind this though. If you can take out the Marines, the Mutalisk can deal with what the Thors are. You can magic box Mutalisk. Thors are kind of garbage if the units aren't clumped up, but with these two in the front lines, they're gonna soak hits from Banelings as we saw. I think that one ate like about 5.
It is also, it's really critical that Impact consistently puts down creep tumors. JJakji is still on creep a good ways away as to where he's consistently killing creep tumors because Impact's very attentive to that. This drop is a pretty nice idea. Luckily, there's a spine crawler to hold it off.
It draws the army out of position. Nothing left to defend properly here. More Banelings morphing in. But this has kind of been the problem for Impact. He's been slowly, like, out of breath, I want to say. Like, the Banelings are always just a little bit behind what they should be. And SCV even soaks some of those hits. Rolling past the Thor this time. Going for the Marines. A really nice choice. Mutalisk now in such a big count. He's gone from having, like, 8 to 18. But even then, despite taking out the Thor, there's so many Marines he still has to worry about. Medevacs need to be targeted.
Impact is holding though. Look at the supplies.
Good. Baneling connects about to go off. Oh, those Marines.
The Thor is so close to getting that magic hit. Luckily,
one more shot could have killed everything. The Thor could have gone down, or the Mutalisk would have died. Either way, both players disengage. And again, you pointed out before, still important that he's spreading this creep. Not just because the creep itself gives mobility, but it buys time. Every time JJakji stops for 2 seconds to kill tumors, every time he scans, it's a little bit extra that Impact gets going his way. That's the time he needs to get those Banelings made.
Oh, this must be such a stressful situation for Impact right now. He's just never really had that much of a breather, and he hasn't been able to really go on the other side of the map either to make JJakji feel the sweat. Really, like, JJakji's probably, even though he's not, like, winning right now, or maybe he expected to, he still doesn't feel that much pressure. He's on 4 bases.
Yeah, and that's oh, Mule's gonna get caught once again. It's a scenario too where, like any other game we've seen out of Impact, he's got 5 Banelings rolling into the 3rd by now. He's got some Zerglings doing a small counterattack, but he can't afford to send any of those away. Ooh, nice pick of Medevacs.
Yeah, but he's down to 10 mutas after that.
Yeah, from the 18 something he had before.
Yeah, he's on the way to his 3-3 though. That Infestation Pit Hive tactic, that actually might pay out well, and he'll have his upgrades where usually you're just fighting on 2-2 all the time, like for the rest of the game, because this is too hard to stop.
Thor actually goes down to the
under attack. As it should.
That's actually a really nice pick up for the Mutalisks, but those being across the map means there's nothing at home to follow through with the Banelings. And again, like I said, Impact always just seems to be a little shy on what he needs to completely wipe out JJakji. 3-3's on the way, but it's not here yet. He's going to roll past the Marauders, though. He's making the right moves. He's not A-moving. Any mistakes could cost him this game at this point, and he knows it. JJakji will be cleaned up once again on the offensive, and that orbital command center, sorry, the planetary, rather, goes down.
Oh my god, that's so big. That should have been an easy defense for JJakji, and instead he loses not only his army in the middle of the map, but also his fourth. He's trying to save the Thors, and he's actually doing a decent job of it, really.
Yeah, that pickup micro is insane. But here come the Mutalisks, and one of these Medivacs has no health. Loses the Thor immediately. Second one also going to go down. Unloads the Thor before dying, however. But this was the first time Impact was able to reach out across the map, do a bit of counterattack, allow JJakji to feel the burn. And he's always done this with almost no minerals in the bank and never maxing out.
Oh, man. I can't believe that hive is really going to play out well.
Yeah, 3-3.
It was such a small change, but a change actually is going to let him survive not only in the mid-game, but past the mid-game. He's actually going to have a 3-3 in a time where most people are saying, well, you couldn't have afforded that.
The other thing, too, is while the Ultra Cavern's going to be on the way, I kind of would like to see Adrenal Glands a little bit more, honestly. Because the Lings, I feel like, are going to play a much bigger role. He doesn't have a bank. He can't afford to make Ultralisks. Maybe he'll make 1 or 2, but his income is not what it needs to be able to pump out, like, say, a Remax of 18 Ultras.
Yeah, that's true. He also needs to start thinking about a 5th base. As you said, the 3rd is actually mining out, but the natural, or the reverse that, is the natural is mining out at the 3rd, so he actually has a very safe actual 3rd.
Yeah, this is
working out really nicely.
There's been no drops going off. He's got Spore Crawlers just in case, and there's finally a drop heading his way, but I think JJakji is going to be somewhat limited on the damage he can do here. Although the Queen... Okay.
He actually decides not to go for it.
Can we... Hey, I want to show the vision real quick. While he's lost a lot of the creep command, look at this, though. Finally, Lings spread on this side of the map. He's got Overlords everywhere else, making sure there's no hidden bases from JJakji. Impact somehow, despite having almost no creeps, still has maintained pretty good map control.
Yeah.
Oh, these Banelings. Can he afford to throw these away?
I don't
This feels
think
like a waste to me.
It's actually really bad. Ooh, and
but the SCVs are all stacked up! Oh, and those last mineral patches, that could have been good.
He needs Burrow so badly.
Oh. Okay, well, you know what? He throws this away, but at the same time, it makes room for the Ultralisks. He was supply cap before.
Alright. That's a good point.
God, it just feels like such a waste. Like, throw the Zerglings away. Don't throw the Banelings away.
Yeah, I think he was really not expecting the supply. Well, he should have scouted with the mutants at some point. I don't know. But that does mean that, like, JJakji repairing or rebuilding that supply depot is probably not going to happen, so future Banelings will work out.
Still has to be careful. He has to take engagements on creep, but while he's found some breathing room, he can't get overzealous. He can't get cocky about this. This push from JJakji is still life-threatening. Where are the Ultras coming out? If they come out of the main and the natural, they might actually get choked in on the
more Banelings at the 3rd. This is what I'm talking about. This one actually works because he threw it on the supply depots.
Maybe not. Hang on. Oh, actually, there we go. Good connects. But still, JJakji on 55 SCVs plus mules. Impact with 73 drones means his army supply is a little bit lower, sure, but the Ultralisks are finally in play. Chitinous plating finishing up in just a moment's time. Full upgrades on these beasts, on these behemoths.
And he needs to run. He doesn't know when infestors are popping out or if they're popping out.
Oh, the Banelings. Oh, the Banelings going to connect to all the Marines on the south side. Couple of Thors still standing. This will drive back the Mutalisks. But magic boxing, if he can kill out those Marines, the Mutalisks clear the Thors, no problem. But the Thors are a big threat to these Ultralisks, and Impact knows that. He's got Queens at the front line now waiting for those transfuses. Where are the fungal growths, though?
He's waiting for the ultimate fungal growth.
Oh, no, the Mutas.
Oh, and he has one goes down.
Mutas are cutting off reinforcements. That's a risky move to make. He may need them for the actual home defense. The Ultralisks on top of the Thors now coming in. The Mutas from behind the Thors get the magic hit that kills all the Mutalisks. Now it's only a couple Ultralisks remaining. No Banelings, no Zerglings. Impact on the ropes right now. Oh my god. A couple more Mutalisks chasing Medivacs, but there's just nothing in play.
He loses the 3rd.
But it's okay, it's mined out. Yeah. Hold up in the main base, hold up in the natural. Don't allow JJakji to end the game right here. Bulk up your units. If you send them in one Ultra at a time, this could be it. Attacking his own evolution chamber, because like I said before, he's stuck. He's stuck in by the evolution chamber.
He can still take on this army. He needs to find Banelings somewhere.
Oh, 1 HP. 1 HP. Some Banelings are morphing in. There's 6 of them on the way, but is it going to be in time? Infestor gets sniped. The Ultralisk has to buy time for the Banelings, but even if he does, the Ultralisk going down is going to be a huge loss.
And the Banelings do more if they get. They don't get the connection.
But there's no Mutalisks for them. Like, there's no cleanup. No. Impact has played a really good game. He played a great series. He had that first epic game versus Jakji. The Corruptor hype was real, but I think here at the end of the day, 4-4, Jakji may have just sealed the deal for mYinsanity. Impact's got these extra bases, but he has no units available to fight. 20 army supply to 86. Bottom line.
This is a heartbreaking loss to see yourself. You know you have the bank and you have the larva, but your units just keep coming in different positions, and just Jakji having ever so slightly enough every single time.
mYinsanity takes it, guys. GG. Well played by Impact nonetheless. Big congrats to Jakji. Big congrats to mYinsanity as they take it 5-4 over Axiom. That really is unfortunate. That puts Axiom down 2 games. Yesterday they lost versus Millennium. Today they lost versus mYinsanity. But it's never been a walkover, and they've got some strong players. There's a lot of other matches to play in the Acer Team Story Cup, and there's some teams I can certainly see them 5-0-ing, but this hasn't been a great start for them. That's for certain.